bring good news, who proclaim peace, who bring good tidings, who proclaim salvation, who say to Zion, your God reigns. So this passage from Isaiah 52 really speaks to what the heart of a missionary should be like, and how they should inspire change, redemption, and reconciliation in the communities they serve. Since the ripe old age of 9 in the 3rd grade, I felt a calling in my heart to be a missionary, and so that's really what I wanted to pursue this year. And then along with that, the past few years I really developed a love for science, and so I decided that I wanted to pursue missional nursing. And Jesus exemplifies this through his healings as he goes in his ministry. And one example of this is in Matthew 4, which says, Jesus went throughout Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and sickness among the people. News spread about him all over Syria, and people brought to him all who were ill with various diseases, those suffering severe pain, the demon-possessed, those having seizures, and the paralyzed, and he healed them. Mm-hmm. And obviously this isn't something that I can do quite yet in my life, but this is what I hope to be at someday, to the point where I can use my medical knowledge to bless the people of the world and to show them the love of Christ. So as I began Capstone this year, I really was thinking about what brought me life and joy. And what I decided it was community. And so in my capstone, I really set out to engage in community and give back and try to bring love to others as Christ did. And also, I really wanted to do great medical things. I really wanted to be able to go to a hospital and learn how to be a nurse and how to help people physically. So I set out to grow in 2 virtues, love and diligence, which Mr. Cooper defines as the following. Love is driven to express charity to others, and diligence strives for excellence to God's glory, not personal gain. Mm-hmm. And I just think that both of these are super important in order to be a man of God and even more a missionary. And love is founded in 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, which says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, or rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. And I know that this is the super cliche verse when you're talking about love, but I think at the heart of it is really selflessness, which is what love is all about. It should be about showing others love and showing them God through it. It's not about you giving them that love, it's about them getting to know God through it. And then diligence comes from Ecclesiastes 9:10, which says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. And then later, Paul writing to the church in Colossae says, whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men. And this is just really important to me that I would be able to display both love and diligence throughout my entire capstone, and that I would just be able to do that well. So going into capstone, I did not really enjoy service ever before this year because it was at places not chosen by me. And although this attitude is not proper and something that is actually really bad, I found that once I chose where I was serving, I really enjoyed it. So I had the opportunity to serve at Mr. Butler's church in Englewood, Wellspring, and there he hooks me up with his friend David, who helps run the Well, which is a free homeless outreach ministry every other week that helps to provide a warm meal, counseling, and medical care to these homeless people. And the demographic in that area contains a lot of homeless people, so this is something that's really necessary just to show God to the surrounding community. So the first time I went, I had the opportunity to observe medical students doing check-in for these homeless people. And so I just got to watch the first couple of times how they interacted with the people and did the basic medical things, which is taking your pulse ox, your blood pressure, and your heart rate. And so just watch them do that. And then the last person of the day, I actually got to do the check-in, which is really cool because just after watching these medical students do it for an hour, I was able to engage with these people and find out what was going on in their life that they needed to have checked out. And I thought that it was super cool that I could just get to do that simple medical stuff. And then one thing that the medical students mentioned to me after that really stuck with me is how, while you're talking to them, it's important to bring joy to their life. because whatever situation they're in is not good, and they're not enjoying it. And furthermore, they're in need of something medical assistance, and that's not fun either. And so they really need to be brought joy. And they said that even just listening to them and smiling at them can be just a great way to bring these people joy and to shine in their life. So the next time I went, I got to wash feet, which is really weird. And for those of you who are mothers of teenage boys, feet smell disgusting. And I had the opportunity to get on my knees and wash homeless people's feet. So the first guy whose feet I washed, his name is Gary. And his feet were in just horrible shape to the point that you couldn't even actually scrub them. You just had to dab them lightly so that it wouldn't hurt even more. And then after I washed them, he had to have a real doctor come look at him to make sure his feet weren't getting infected and things like that, which they were. So his feet were super disgusting. But as I was washing his feet, I just got to talk to him and bring him joy in him asking me where he was from. And I was really bad at guessing, and he just thought it was hilarious. So we were sitting here trying to wash his feet, and he just thought it was hilarious that I couldn't tell where he was from. So after I finished his feet, I got to do 3 more guys' feet. So I just put them in the warm water and wash them, and then take them out and dry them, and clip their toenails and things like that. And one of them was named Kevin, and Kevin is a native of Colorado and has lived here for 50 years. So in practicing to bring him joy, I was asking him about Colorado when he was in high school. And he was telling me that County Line Road used to be in the middle of nowhere and was called the roller coaster. And that his dad would take him in their car and they would go super fast and just get air going over these hills. And this brought him a lot of joy. And it was really cool for me to see how just this simple conversation could bring someone joy when their life is not going well. So through washing people's feet, I learned that sometimes it's the little things that can make a difference. It's not always a big medical life-saving procedure that is going to save someone's life and make a difference in their day. But sometimes if you can just smile at them and have a conversation and wash their feet, that can make a difference too. And in this, I was taught by God that my pursuit of diligence may need to be changed to a pursuit of humility. And that trying to do something great, although not bad, can be better in His way. If I would just allow Him to show me humility, to get on my knees, and to serve and to love others. And Christ exemplifies this in John 13, which says, "It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for Him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved His own who were in the world, He loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under His power, and that He had come from God and was returning to God. So He got up from the meal, took off His outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around His waist. After that, He poured water into a basin and began to wash His disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around Him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to Him, 'Lord, are you going to wash my feet?' Jesus replied, 'You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand.' 'No,' said Peter, 'you shall never wash my feet.' Jesus answered, 'Unless I wash you, you have no part with me.' 'Then Lord,' Simon Peter replied, 'not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well.' And Jesus answered, 'Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you.' For He knew who was going to betray Him, and that was why He said not everyone was clean. When He had finished washing their feet, He put on His clothes and returned to His place. 'Do you understand what I have done for you?' He asked them. 'You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them.'" And in washing people's feet this year, I truly did feel blessed. Albeit disgusting to wash people's feet, it truly is a blessing to be on your knees and to serve others. For another portion of my capstone, I was exploring what it would be like to be a missionary and to be a nurse. And I gained a lot as far as the attitude and things that I would need to have to do that. So as part of this, I got to interview Mrs. Weir, who is a former emergency room nurse at Children's Hospital. So I talked to her about how she saw her job as a mission field and just some of the things that she thought were hard about the job as well as the things she loved. And she said that difficult parents can be really hard, especially because I take care of kids. A lot of it is them not understanding or them having a hard time coping, and they take it out on the healthcare providers. That can be really hard because I internalize everything and take it personally. And it's really hard to not take it personally when they get angry at me because of the situation. So I really have to take a step back and say, I know this parent isn't really angry with me, but is angry that their kid is hurt or sick and they're just having a hard time coping. And what I took away from this, combined with the virtue of love that I was pursuing, is that I would need to have a lot of it, because in the medical realm, people are going to be upset. If it's not the actual patient themselves, their families and the people around them are going to be upset because of the situation and what's going on. So it's important to be able to display joy to them all the time and love them because they're going through a hard time. And then I got another lesson in this as I was reading a book called On Being a Missionary by Thomas Hale, who was a medical missionary to the country of Nepal for over 2 decades. And in it, he says, without his love, all of our efforts will be in vain. Paul said, if I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I gain nothing. And then he continued on to say, human emotion is not enough. We need God's love, which is poured into our hearts by the Holy Spirit. Without that love as our prime motivator, our good works cannot be sustained. And this lesson to let Christ's love flow through me and not have it be my own love is not something that I necessarily learned this year, but it became much more apparent. I'd be hard-pressed to say that I didn't know that in a Christian school my whole life, that it can't be my love, but it needs to be Christ. But just in thinking about it with regards to what I'm going to do with my life, it became really apparent that was something that I needed to practice more in order to do it. And then one of the coolest pieces of my capstone is I got to interview a missionary who's currently in Guatemala, and her name is Anita, and I just got to talk to her about the day-to-day life of being a missionary, as well as some of the miracles she had seen. And then I was asking her what her favorite scripture passage was, and she brought up James 2:14-16, which says, what good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? And then she went on to say that it's about putting your faith into action. It's easy to say, I'll pray for you and I hope you have a great day. But you see that that person has a serious need, whether it be medical or emotional or physical, and one must meet it. So when I combine all these lessons about virtue of love that I was pursuing, it's just very apparent to me that I, one, cannot pass up any opportunities to love people. And that starts right here, right now, and moving on every day throughout the rest of my life. But also, it just cannot be my love. It has to be Christ's love that is just a reflection coming through me. So going into this year with Capstone, I had expectations to be able to do great things medically and to learn a lot. But instead, I was given the opportunity to grow in the virtues of love and humility. And I feel that gaining even the smallest portion of these virtues is 10 times more valuable than it would have been to learn more medically. Because once I'm in college, I can learn everything I would want to know about the human body and how to care for it. But this year, I had the opportunity to grow in the person who will be able to better love in any circumstance. And I think this is very important, as stated in 1 Corinthians 13. I am nothing without love. And ultimately, as a missionary, I want that to ring true in my life. I just want my life to be God's love flowing through me so that the people around me know Him better. And then along with that, instead of gaining the virtue of diligence, I was given the chance to grow in humility. No one can prepare for the lesson of humility that you get when you're washing homeless people's feet. It reminded me of their humanity and how much they love fellowship and laughter just as much as me. And it taught me that even when you are serving someone, it cannot be about you. It has to be about them. It has to be about you lowering yourself and humbling yourself and lifting them up so that they may know God better. And then the biggest thing that I learned this year is that it's not about the end goal of bringing advanced healthcare to third world countries. but rather it's about showing God's love each and every step of the journey, and that's every single day. Even today, as I walk through the high school halls, that can start, because the mission field is everywhere, and according to Thomas Hale, Jesus told us to go, first to Jerusalem, and then to Judea and Samaria, and then to the ends of the earth. This means that all Christians are to go and be witnesses to their families, to their neighborhoods, and to their cities. Every moment left of my life is an opportunity to show others the love of Christ. It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing. This is my calling.
So we have a couple minutes left, so does anybody have any questions?
Do you have a specific part of the world that kind of tugs at your heart, or are you just open?
I am open to it. I've definitely felt called towards South America. One of my dad's coworkers actually grew up in South America and Brazil, and just hearing about that, it's pretty cool. I think that would be an interesting place to go.
Well said, Luke.
Yeah,